You join me today on an opportunity to try and smash this 2025 FTP target I've got, which is 3.8 watts per kilo, 3.7 watts per kilo, 275 watts. I'm currently 75 kilos weight. So there's a little lead in here. I'm going to do the FTP test, the grade. My current FTP is 272, so I have 3 watts to gain effectively. The grade, just to remind you, is a test of, in my case, for around 13 and a half to 14 minutes. Well, currently 14 minutes is my record. There's a bit of a lead in here because I've chosen the elevation evaluation course. Ignore the 14 miles. But if you look on the graphic on the right, you've got 1,000 feet essentially. Split into two halves and a little flat section you might just be able to notice on the left hand side of that ascent. So we have a lead in here. It's probably 2 or 3 kilometres. I've got the heart monitor mapped up. It's very early morning. Do you know what? I'm not feeling the best, but I'm willing to give it a go because I've got to knock this objective off before the 31st of December is the bottom line. So heart rate 149 BPM. Probably not had a big enough warm up either. I always like at least 10 minutes, but it is what it is. I need to, for the FTP to hit 275, I need to do, on this calculation, probably, if I'm doing 14 minutes, it will be between 88 and 89% of the FTP average achieved. So I need to be doing 312 watts average, which is 12 watts more than I did before. On the last outing up the grade, which I achieved 268 watts FTP. So here we go. It's a little orange section first. If you haven't done the grade before, it's split into 10 sections, roughly equidistant. However, the whole climb, the 1,000 feet, is split into 2 sections with a flat bit in between, which does catch you out because you're grinding away in 10th, 9th gear at 90 RPM, and then suddenly you get to a flatter section and you've got to whack up the gears 2 or 3, 4 gears to keep your average watts high. So that is a bit of a challenge, and then going back to down the gears to get back into a consistent cadence. So as you can see, it's clearly displayed 334 watts average right in the middle of that screen, top middle. Ignore the 2 miles completed, ignore the average on the left, on the top left. That average in the centre is for the climb itself, so that's what's important. Now, this is a case of I ride twice a week, try and get a race in, try and get some training in. Sometimes I do 3, and depending on work and other commitments, I might only get 1 in at the weekend. So this early morning, it's pouring it down in the UK, this early morning ride before work is an attempt to get that FTP record. However, I've broken quite a few personal best FTP records and average time records in the recent Unlocked series, and I guess this video, unfortunately, is all about, you can't break records every time. Although you can see the grade 2 minutes, nearly 2 minutes 30 completed, but my record on the right is 14 minutes, so I have another 11 and a half minutes at way over my FTP. That's the challenge. On the left, look, I'm maintaining 327, 319. It's above the 312 watts. That's critical. You can see the blue part, the flat on the graphic, and you're thinking 2.5 minutes, brilliant, we're almost at halfway already. Well, this is a killer. It's a FTP challenge, a different one. You might think it's only 14 minutes, but it is absolutely up there. I'm already at 168 beats per minute on the left, and we've probably done just under a quarter of the race. 118 calories, it's meaningless. You can see the average watts on the sector stats on the left, and the heart rate and the times. So 335 sector 1, 322 sector 2. Going back to what I was saying before, this is a video to show the reality, and this put me right back down to earth, and with a big bump. This is reality. You can't be breaking records. You're aiming to, you're trying your best, but if obviously you're not feeling 100%, you haven't got it in your legs, you haven't got it in your head, the music might not even be motivating you, things might be annoying you, little itches, you're not sat on the saddle correctly, you can hear the rain outside, it's too warm. All these little incremental factors when you're trying to break records every week, they're very important. 316 watts average, 315 top graphic, 4 minutes completed, nearly 420 there. So another 10 minutes ish to go at this power. There lies the difficulty, keeping that power. Now it is mind over matter at one point, and it's how much you can push yourself. However, with cycling, as you know, there's a time when your legs can turn to jelly, and it doesn't matter what you want to do, your legs will not turn that crank at that torque, and you won't get the power through. I'm standing up here, perhaps that's it would come just to the change, and I'm on target here. 10% gradient, 312 watts average, done 5 minutes. But look at the wattage on the top left coming down as the gradient decreases slightly. It's really difficult to keep those watts. I flicked up the gears, I'm now down to 203, there you go, 11th gear, 169 BPM still. I expect that to go up to about 180 potentially on the second half. There you go, 5th segment completed. But look, 4th segment 275, not good, that's under the required. So was 307 in the 3rd sector actually, and I'm now just above 300 watts average. However, took a bit of a drink there, nearly 6 minutes done, so not even halfway here, and I'm under 300 watts. What you'll see here is my mind was on it, I wanted to do it, I was in a position that was, well, it's all relative, but reasonably comfortable. There was no excuses here. I'm back up to 318 watts, but I'm struggling to get the average over 300 watts. Now that won't be good enough. That'll be, well, like I achieved the last time. I'll be doing roughly around or just over 14 minutes. Stood up there to try and generate some power, get my legs moving again. 6.5 minutes. Still can't move this dial on 299 watts. That'll be giving me an FTP equivalent to about 268. So I'm under target there. 12 minutes gone on the total ride. 643 on this climb. I'm still at 299 watts. You can see I'm struggling on the top left to break 312. Whereas in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd segment, I was hitting 320, 330 comfortably. I'm under 300. My legs felt like jelly. I couldn't turn the crank unless I was stood up above 300 watts. I sit down again here. Watch this. Look, dip below 300 watts. For whatever reason, I couldn't generate the power sat down. That's not me not trying. I'm just not capable today. My body says, no, we can't do that. I've had a nutritional breakfast. It's early morning. I'm not necessarily tired. I've had a good sleep. It's nothing to do with that. For some reason, I'm just not pushing the power out. Now, it's not because lack of riding. I've had a nice rest since Saturday, so it's nothing. That's not the case. I'm overdone it, trying to generate the power again. Look now, I'm only standing up and I'm still only 310. I'm now 240, 275, all over the place now. It's gone, basically, the record's gone. I'm 8 minutes in, still 6 minutes to go. I'm not going to get that average up to 312. No chance. 631 feet, so you can see 2/3 of the climb completed. And now I've just resigned. If you liked,